Good evening. This is CTV News for Thursday, October 10th. I'm Rochelle Metzger.
And I'm Patricia Vallone. Glad to have you with us tonight. Well, federal workers are in their 10th day of furloughs as members of Congress continue to battle over the budget.
And while close to 800,000 federal employees are going without pay, congressional leaders are not.
Reporter Tahira Chrisman is joining us now in the studio with more on the story.
And Tahira, tell us what's the latest.
It's a lot going on Congress, Patty and Rochelle. You know we've been talking about this all week. Well, U.S. Senator Barbara Mikulski joined Senate Democrats on the steps of the Capitol to call on House Republicans to end the, quote, Tea Party shutdown and fund the government. With 20 major federal agencies headquartered right here in Maryland, Mikulski said yesterday that one of her top concerns is to get the 130,000 federal workers who live in Maryland back to work.
We are the home to the headquarters for Social Security. We are the home for the headquarters for Medicare. We're the home for the headquarters for the National Security Agency, for the headquarters for the FDA. We work together with Virginia. We have Wallops Island, the Space Agency. In Western Maryland, we have a federal prison. We want to reopen federal government so it serves the nation.
Mikulski is co-sponsoring a bill that would give federal workers retroactive pay, but she's keeping her paycheck during the shutdown. She joins Steny Hoyer, Ben Cardin, and Donna Edwards, who are all doing the same. We spoke to residents today in Greenbelt to get their reaction.
I woke up on that Saturday.
Should have a pay cut as well. I don't think it's right for them to get paid and the other people that lost their job without them doing anything not get paid.
I think it's messed up. It's selfish. That's what I think.
Why?
Because they picking and choosing which government things they're going to shut down. They're not shutting down everything. So I think it's favoritism.
Maryland Congressman Dutch Ruppersberger says he's declining his paycheck until furloughed workers are compensated. Meanwhile, Congressman Andrew Harris and John Delaney say they have vowed to donate their earnings to local health clinics in their respective districts. I should also mention that while legislation is moving forward to provide back pay for affected workers, contractors will likely not be able to get paid for their time off.
Oh, and they're the ones who are really going to be hit hard.
Exactly. So it's definitely going to affect our region for days and probably months to come.
All right, and you'll be following this and keeping us up to date.
Definitely.
Thanks, Tahira.
Thank you. Well, the partial government shutdown is beginning to take its toll on businesses, small businesses in Prince George's and across the area. A group of business owners assembled at the county's Chamber of Commerce in Lanham to discuss the effects of the shutdown. Joy Smith joined the session because, like others, she needs help to stay afloat. Smith says her company, which depends heavily on government contractors, has already seen a 15% drop in revenue.
We're thinking we're going to lose somewhere between $2,000 and $5,000 per day based on the number of people that we don't have working right now, which as a small business is very, very hurtful. As it has caused us to have to lay some people off and have people to use all of their leave, and we're just worried about our employees' overall well-being and also the health of our business.
The chairman of the Chamber's Small and Minority Business Committee and director of a statewide program that offers free counseling to entrepreneurs led the meeting. He talks about how the course can help.
I think you really need to go back and look at your financials and look at your cash flow. What are you spending? And then try to identify the threats of the money coming in, the lack of money coming in, and then what are the essential expenses.
Some of the small businesses, they have some lines of credits which are emergency funds that they can use when we have contingencies like this. And that's why in the next weeks what we are going to see is all those small businesses, they are going to use all those lines of credits as a short-term solution.
And for more information on the committee's monthly sessions, you can visit pgcoc.org.
Another concern tonight, the federal shutdown may be putting lives at risk. More than 40 blood drives across the Washington metro area have been canceled. At CTV, Sonia Srivastava has more from Largo.
Well, there is no doubt that giving blood is one of the most noble things that you can do. It can give another person a second chance at life. But because of this government shutdown, officials here at Red Cross tell me that a number of federal agencies that were planning to hold blood drives have actually canceled. They've had probably about 40 cancellations in the last 10 days, and that means that they are behind thousands and thousands of pints of blood. Every 2 seconds, someone in the United States needs blood, and the only way to get it is through donors. William Rogers and Belinda Jackson, both of Upper Marlboro, say they give every 2 months.
I am happy to be able to provide to others right now.
I think giving blood is a good thing, and it's something we should always do.
Since the shutdown, more than 40 blood drives in the Washington area have been canceled. Most of them were being held at federal facilities.
IRS, NASA, or the Bureau of Engraving. We have quite a bit of federal agencies that can't run the blood drives right now. We're getting coordinators calling us up saying, hey, we have to cancel, and it's every day we're getting new groups to tell us we can't run the blood drive next week because of the shutdown.
Hicks says they've already lost thousands of pints of blood, and he's especially worried because hospitals depend on getting a certain number of units each day.
The hospitals need to have a safe supply on the shelf at any point in case there's an emergency. One accident can patient can require up to 100 units of blood, and there's a big demand to keep up with the hospital's inventory.
Today's blood drive is being sponsored by the Prince George's Association of Realtors, one of the many small community organizations that are doing their part.
It's really important that people do this. There's people in need of blood all the time, particularly during disasters.
As the back and forth on Capitol Hill continues, the situation is truly becoming one of life and death.
This is the time to give. If I was one of those folks who was not working, I would probably try to find something to do that was more positive right now.
And if you missed this blood drive today, don't worry. There are a number of other drives that are scheduled in Prince George's in the coming weeks. In Largo, I'm Sonia Shrivastava for CTV News.
And here's a list of other locations that will hold blood drives in the coming days. And for more information, you can log on to redcross.org.
House GOP leaders say they will offer a temporary increase to the federal debt ceiling in exchange for negotiations with the president. House Speaker John Boehner says his plan would raise the debt limit for 6 weeks. President Obama has said that Republicans must vote to reopen the government and vote to prevent the first ever government default before he negotiates over the budget and other issues. Boehner says he will appoint negotiators from his chamber to try and sort out the differences between the two parties.